True crime podcasts are trending, and therefore today we are talking about true crime, and the true crime is that the world is trying to steal you from the heavenly kingdom. Mic drop. Episode over. But no, seriously, we are doing some very silly things here in this world. Our generation has picked some interesting words to define things, has picked some interesting tactics when it comes to dating. And honestly, it's just lost sight of really what we're all here for, and it's that we're not here for this. We're here for the next thing. So that's what we're going to tackle today. And with that,
we invite you
to Holy Surrender. Why do we even have an intro? Swoopy thing. Like we had it all right there.
Jill's got the music, I've got the action, and we've got our signage.
It would be really fun to animate across the screen when editing that whoosh as your hand moves every time. I don't know if I can do that, but I might give it a shot.
Things to come.
Just for you guys. Okay, so we are...
Let's get back to our dumb generation.
Seriously, guys, this podcast has gone through like 3 different names. I kid you not. The title, I think I have all 3 titles written in my notebook. And it's like, dumb things our generation is doing, raising our generation to sainthood, and true crime, the world is stealing you.
3rd time's the charm.
3rd time is the clickbait.
She said it, and I was like, yes, that's it.
I was doing our market research, guys. I was trying to figure out what everybody's talking about, and like the Catholic sphere is pretty small. So I was like, let's just see what happens. But hey, mortal sin is literally murder to your soul, and this whole world is living in it, and it's really trying to get you. It's trying to get you good, and we are not about that. So we're going to call out the dumb things our generation is doing that may or may not be related to mortal sin. We'll see how many conclusions we can draw on the murder front. We forgot our sleuth hats, but... Oh, I know.
That would be fun.
So, who's Sherlock and who's Watson? Oh, you're Watson.
Duh. Last name. I already have a
Oh
claim.
my gosh. So silly. So silly.
Sorry, start with the British
So silly
accent.
of me. Wow,
She was like, who's Watson? The actual Watson.
That doesn't mean your personality
I did
isn't
not.
a Sherlock, you know?
I mean, that's fair. He's pretty sarcastic.
He is. Oh, so good. Benedict Cumberbatch did an excellent job, a superb job, playing Sherlock Holmes in that TV series.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I should go back and watch that series. It was good. That is not one of the dumb things our generation is doing. But we are doing this weird dating phenomenon called throning. Throning is a thing. We're both married. We both did not deal with this. And the point is,
Thank
like,
God.
women are dating people, like, really out of their league. Like, it's almost like they've put them on a pedestal, put them on a throne. And it's like, the whole purpose is because, you know, I think the true purpose is it benefits you the most. Let me make sure I have this definition right. But that's what I recalled it to be. Wow, it's like
dating thing.
a dating trend where someone dates someone with a higher social status to improve their own reputation. It's a modern take on the traditional practice of gold digging. How it works, there's even a description. People use dating apps to find partners who are 25% more desirable from them. Holy cow.
Where's this measure stick?
I don't know, but there is like an equation. Social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok showcase lifestyles of luxury and exclusivity, and they're drawn to partners who project success and affluence. Because people want to feel special, validated, they might be feeling undervalued in other areas of their life, and they may be using relationships as a stepping stone to achieve personal aspirations. Well, alright. Think we can identify a few. Like, you are straight up using someone if you are participating in this whole throning trend. Mm-hmm. Okay? This isn't like you recognize someone's dignity and, like, they're actually, like, raising you up a level.
Right.
Like, it's not like he's just out of your league kind of a thing, or she's out of your league. No. We're using people to move up in society. Anger.
I've got nothing to offer on this one. It's...
Guys, this is a giant gaping wound. Seriously, if you want to feel special and validated, but you're feeling undervalued, okay? Like, and you probably feel that way if the other person has used you as a stepping stone.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. There could be a lot of things involved here. There could be lust. There could be gluttony. Like, you could be, like, you just want everything in life. You have to have all the things.
There's a name for that. Avita?
Avarice. Oh.
Is it Avita?
Is it another 7 deadly sin?
No. It's a word that I didn't hear until yesterday.
Avarice? Avarice?
Maybe that's it.
Like jealousy?
Well, kind of, but it's like always wanting the next best thing. Like, you're never satisfied with what you have. Right? And the example that they used in my mom was reading about it.
Extreme greed for wealth or material gain is avarice.
That must be it.
Avarice.
That must be it. But the example that was used in the book my mom was reading was a TV. Right? Like, when we started with TVs, they were big and boxy.
It's synonymous with greed.
Okay, this tracks.
Yes.
So when we got TVs, they were big and boxy and black and white. Then they were in color.
Never wanted to move
Then
them.
they were flat. Then they were in high def. Now they're in ultra high def. Now we've got smart TVs, and it's just like we want the next best thing. Never satisfied with what we have.
Yeah, there's greed.
What, avarice?
Yep, avarice. So you could be like, there could truly be a deadly sin here of lust. Like, you're lusting for wealth. You could also be lusting for other people. There's greed involved in this, and there's gluttony. Like you have to keep going. You can't stop. Like that.
Right. Gluttony is not just food. Lust is not just
food.
sex.
It's not. Yes.
It's, these things overlap other areas of our lives.
100%. And so, like, this is a way that this generation is being stolen from the Lord, because the Lord can fulfill all of these things. He has a plan for your life. He has a goal and a purpose. And the more you wholly surrender yourself to Him, the more you are satisfied with your life. And it should be, that's a lot of undue pressure that is not doing justice to the dignity of the other person. And justice is a virtue, okay? Like, the dignity of the other person is essentially being compromised here, because you are making them your God, temporarily, a false idol, in order to get what you want. And you might even make them feel like they're just that good until they're of no use to you anymore. Like, they're not a dirty Kleenex. You don't go throw people away. You don't just snot on them and get rid of them.
Ew.
Sorry, I wanted it to be a really gross analogy.
That was very visual.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good. That was the point. Okay, what was the top thing on your list?
Cuffing.
Oh my gosh, we're back to cuffing. If you did not listen to our Valentine's Day episode,
No, you cut it out.
No, I thought I kept cuffing.
Nope.
Oh shoot, just kidding. So we talked about cuffing when we were
Still go back and listen to the Valentine's episode.
Yes, because you will love the Catholic pickup lines. They're 10 out of 10. You can use them on your next date where you will not be throning. Anyways. It makes it sound like an action more than a concept. Well, when I looked up throning, the actual definition is putting someone on a throne. But then, like, the next search was throning, dating. Anyways, cuffing season. I will read this definition again.
Didn't know this until last week.
Yes.
I don't understand the dating
cuffing
trends.
season is over as of Valentine's Day.
What?
Yes.
We still got
Cuffing
like 5 more weeks of
season
winter.
Is when single people look for short-term romantic partners to spend the colder months with. It's often from October to Valentine's Day.
So, what did I say last week? They're just
That's something about
unwanted.
a reject buddy.
A reject buddy. That was
Yes,
it.
you call them reject
You're
buddies.
a reject buddy. You are not truly wanted. You're just here for convenience.
Ooh.
Don't do cuffing. Don't fall into the trap. Make
God.
Jesus your buddy.
Make Jesus your buddy. Jesus is not a
Your
reject buddy.
ultimate bestie.
True story. He's pretty cool.
He is.
I've told several people this, but I had a dream one time, and at the end of the dream, I drove off with Jesus in a truck, and he had shades on. Best dream ever. Totally that bestie feeling that we're talking about here. Just like, let's roll, and I was like,
Okay.
let's go into the sunset.
That's funny.
But yes, cuffing is silly. If you are dating, like, dating's intention is to marriage. You are discerning whether or not this is the person Christ is calling you to live your life with. No need to cuff. okay? Because you're going to leave yourself with heartache, and you're going to leave the other person with wounds. That is the problem with, like, these dating phenomenons, is that they are breeding grounds for wounds. Not just sin, but wounds.
Right, and I guess, maybe it's the way I was raised, but I never, like, dating always had a purpose for me.
100%.
And
Even if I was misled on things.
Right. I never dated anybody, like, I had some short relationships in high school because I'm like, I'm not going to stay in the relationship if I know this ain't it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. All right, well,
I am right there with you. I don't get it. Like, even when I was living in lies, the enemy kind of had a hold on my life at this point, which made things worse, exacerbated the issues significantly. But I still wanted to marry the person I was dating. Like, I still thought I could fix it, I could make it work. All of those silly little lies.
That was me.
Been there, done that. So we can tell you.
Went to therapy for it, actually.
Don't do this. I went to therapy for other things, but I went to therapy for other things, but not this.
Yeah. Well, come to find out, in therapy, I learned that I was in this relationship because of my other things that I should have been in therapy for.
So dating was your cop out in this way, like it was your way to cling. It was your rock to cling to, almost.
Sure.
We'll go with that. The point is, if you're dating to use people for your own convenience or your own success, then
just don't.
Just don't. And also, you should apologize because that is
because you're
not
wrong.
okay. It's not okay to do that.
It is tough love episode over here. Okay, we love you, but you're wrong.
It's okay, honey. Not everyone can be right.
Except for Jesus.
Jesus,
and
is
he
always
wouldn't want
right.
you to do it either.
Yes. We asked him. I'm just kidding. I mean, I think it was pretty obvious. If you can read a definition and it points to sin, probably not of the Lord. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good talk. My next one is raising kids with screens. That is a dumb thing our generation is doing. And I mean, like, I'm seeing kids in restaurants with screens in front of their faces. Like, there are kids who are babysat, and if you turn the screen off, they literally cannot function. I hear these stories all the time or see the posts.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this cop-out of yours is screwing them up. Again, tough love episode here. But the hard work of parenting is amazing, fulfilling, gratifying, sanctifying, because that's what it's supposed to be. And screens are ruining your kids' brains. Like, I'm not saying that, like, okay, your kid is going to go out into the world, and your job is to prepare them for that moment, to have helped them form their conscience, their morals, their foundational principles, their intellect, so that they can handle going out into the world and being adults. That is your job, to equip your kids to go out on a mission that Jesus calls them to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't do that from a screen, first of all, and second of all, I'm not demonizing screens. They're not good for you. Science backs that up. But the reality is that when your kids are out in the world, they're going to be exposed to screens.
Right.
Okay? So that doesn't mean, like, never ever let them watch TV. If that's how you want to live your life, more power to you. I have a lot of friends that actually do that. But they're going to be exposed to screens at some point. So they're going to have the self-discipline to say no to that temptation. And that's where this is a problem. Is you are band-aiding their emotions, you're band-aiding their reactions, you are not teaching them to critically think. You are teaching them that if you feel something, think something, or have to go through something, you can quick fix it with a hit of dopamine from the TV. You can quick fix it by them sitting there and watching it so that you can get stuff done, or so that you don't have to hear another tantrum, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, you will do them better. You'll do better by them if you say, sorry, your attitude says no TV, and you let them scream. Because at least they released the emotion and got it out. It doesn't mean it's pleasant, but you need to teach your kids to critically think and be aware of the temptations of the world so that they can always return to the heart of Jesus and get his thoughts on those things.
Well, and I will say, we talked about this, or was it today or yesterday? My family has had the flu that was going around, and we were down for like a week and a half, and we had a lot of, Sam was down for 6 days. And he watched a lot of TV because he couldn't play. He was tired, and honestly, obviously he's got siblings that run around. I couldn't, like, completely quarantine him in one room.
Right.
So we had a lot of TV time, and I noticed my kids' behavior, and that's probably why I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing now.
You have to come off
I'm, like,
that
coming
week and a
down
half.
from
Yes.
the TV high.
You are not the only one. Our household is doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every day when Liam wakes up, he's like, I want to watch Magic School Bus. And I'm like, no, we're going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's instant meltdown. And he wanted a popsicle after supper. Like, Leo was teething, so we bought popsicles. We don't normally do that. And so we've been just kind of eating through them. And we were like, well, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. There's going to be lots of special treats. We don't want you to have one today so that you can truly appreciate them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, like, before I got to say that, he went to, like, lose it on the bench at dinner. And I was like, before you have a ferocious meltdown...
Let me finish my sentence.
Let me finish. Then do whatever you choose.
I do that with Sam, too. I'm like, hold on. I'm not done. Let me finish.
Wait,
and then he's
your
like,
turn.
Then when he lets me finish, he's like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, if you would let me explain that I have your
Dang
best interests in mind.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is when you have a true relationship with your kids, they trust you, and they learn how valuable trust is, and they learn by example what it means to trust someone with their best interests in mind.
Right.
It's very important. And it's not going to be easy to take kids off screens, but guys, they learn best through play. Play with them. I have been more like a 3-year-old. Like, we play, like, my kid wants to be a dog right now. So we have, like, a mom dog, and he's a Liam dog. And we, like, crawl into the tent, and we pretend to sleep. And, like, it's very silly, but, like, he enjoys it, and I'm flashing back to all the times as a kid that I did that.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, you know, even it brings back these fond memories of wanting to do the job I have now as an adult. Like, I wanted to be the mom dog who took care of the baby dog in the tent and tucked them in and, like, deflected them from the cold outside, you know, whatever it is. And so it's bringing back these warm memories of, like, dreaming about being a mom and getting to be imaginative with my toddler.
Charlotte's at that stage. So she's playing, you know, I have daycare, so she's got her little friends that come over and they play, and they all play pretend. And Charlotte is like the ringleader of daycare. It is what it is.
She's the mom
She's
leader.
going to go to preschool next year, and she's going to be, like, principal by mid-September. It's fine.
So
I'm in trouble with that one. But they play, they play pretend, they play house, they play whatever. But sometimes she'll go, Mom! And I'm like, what? And she goes, not you.
Oh,
okay.
so sorry.
So she's like, I'm talking to her mom. Okay. Or my favorite was when her and Sam one weekend, like, I think it was 3 weekends ago, they were playing Haley and Brayden. So I heard Charlotte run around, and Brayden was actually in the garage, and so Charlotte was running around going, Brayden! And I was like, what did you call him? And she goes, Brayden? And I said, you call him Dad. And, like, I'm not doing this first name thing with my kids. And she goes, no, Mom, Sam is Brayden. And I was like, why? And she goes, we're playing Brayden and Haley. Like, duh.
Obviously,
So,
Mom. I only ask you for things 700 times a day, and I only ask Dad for things 650 times a day. But in this moment, you are wrong, and you are not Mom. It's not Dad. You are not Alien Brayden. You are
like,
unnamed people
I'm
in
not
the
Mom.
corner.
Cool. Bye. I'm gonna go get a
See ya. I'm gonna go get coffee, she says.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so what's your next one?
My next one, I think, is... Gosh, I've got 2 really good ones, and I can't decide who to talk about next.
Come, Holy Spirit.
Let's do abbreviated words. Just throwing it on the list.
Oh,
Abbreviated words.
that's
Along,
sus. Ugh.
along with, like, just stupid word. Like, skibbity toilet. What is that? I don't understand.
I'm pretty positive it's a meme. I don't want to know what it is. I have no interest.
Don't care. It's dumb.
Don't recommend sending that one to us. Thanks. But it drives me nuts when people like, that's suspect, or suspicious, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They say sus, and I'm like, don't do that. That is incorrect. You could also be saying like 3 different words. We don't know what sus is. Okay. Give us more.
It's,
I mean, and this is not just right now. Like,
I know.
We said swag, like, all the time.
Yeah.
In 8th grade, high school. Like,
we went through our own phases, okay?
The vibes.
We have matured since then.
A little bit.
But no, I remember when this really started to get under my skin. My sister, when my niece was little, my sister watched, it was on Netflix, I don't know if it still is, Barbie Life in the Dream House.
Oh, no.
And it was, honestly, the show was kind of funny. But
so ridiculous.
She Barbie would go, "It's amazing," and I was like, "No, I don't do the abbreviated words."
Amazing.
It's amazing, actually.
Amazing.
Barbie. I cannot stand the abbreviated.
That's
words.
totes adorbs.
Move on. I'm crossing it off my list.
The only reason I say those is because, like, right now it's sus, okay? Like, this is the abbreviation we're doing, or that's cap. I'm still working on that one, because I don't understand the definition. But,
no. Cap,
like, it's like the top of the top, like, that's the max.
No.
But if you have a cap on...
Okay,
no
so
cap.
for Jill and older folks who don't know what cap is,
I'm with the wise ones.
Yeah, because old in spirit. I had to
show.
explain this to my grandma too. She goes, "I don't understand what cap is."
It's been explained to me like 3 times.
Cap is a lie. So
You can't just
like,
say
that's
no
why-
lie anymore.
No cap. Cap is not, in fact, like the cap on top of something.
Like, to
It
me,
just,
if
like-
you're gonna say no cap, that means like you blew the lid off of it. Like, it's
No limit.
no limit.
The
Okay?
limit does not
If
exist.
there's a cap, that means that you go this far. You know?
Cap now means a lie.
Lying or not lying.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I learned something
So
not
there's-
valuable today. Thank you.
I've seen Facebook reels of this doctor. I don't know if he's a dermatologist or whatever, some kind of doctor, and these people. He like, I don't know what the proper term is because I'm not big on social media, but like, he like starts watching a video and then it goes to him and he's got like a baseball cap and he's like, cap, no cap. So if he puts the cap on, they're lying.
That's how you learned this. You know, I think the
Yeah.
visual would actually help me. But here's the thing. Like, this might seem like a silly thing for us to have beef with a little bit, but here's the actual thing. Your intellect is a gift from God, okay? How you think and how you steward the gift of thinking matters because it's one of the things that helps you understand how God is working in your life. And I feel also that this becomes a performance thing, okay? You want to be like everybody else. You want to fit in with the crowd. You say the silly things. And yes, they can be surface level silly, but I know personally when it was middle school and high school for me, silly things were the start of you getting into that group, but it always led to deeper things. Like, it went from like, oh, you talk like us and you're on our level here to let's go to these parties or let's do these things or like if you want to be part of this group, this is how we operate and act or this is just standard operating procedure for us. All of these, like, it can always go deeper and we're not throwing this tough love episode out here to scare you or anything. It's simply because we think we can do better as a generation.
A great way to raise up the next generation of kids is to send them to a school that supports learning by the guidelines of the laws of nature. And that is why we are really proud to partner with the Shalom Prince of Peace Montessori School. They offer primary Montessori from ages 2.5 to 6, lower elementary Montessori from ages 6 to 9, and catechesis of the Good Shepherd. We love the principle of letting kids learn the way that they are naturally wired to learn through true nature Montessori education. You can check out everything Shalom Prince of Peace Montessori School is doing over at their website, www.shalomprinceofpeacemontessori.com, or email them over at princeofpeace0908@gmail.com.
Because actually my next one is like, okay, it's like 3 bullet points, but the gist of it is like, we avoid work.
Good one.
We avoid work, and it sucks. So the few things I threw here is we're relying on Band-Aids to avoid the hard work of improving. Like, we're Band-Aiding ourselves. It doesn't matter if it's like alcohol or drugs or making yourself feel better about like the things you eat or how you spend your time. It can go in all facets. But we're doing that because we want to avoid the fact that we're going to have to make acts of the will. We're going to have to die to ourselves on things. We're going to have to get paid less than we expect to get paid in order to prove that we can move up and get the next level. Like, your motivation should not be starting at the top. It should be getting to the top in a rightly oriented way. As in, you work hard and you share the mission of the Lord through your work. So much so that it shows people that you are a trustworthy, valuable, and worthwhile employee to have.
Yeah.
And to me,
that's so... I don't know why our generation is so work brittle.
So very brittle. Yes, work brittle.
So Braden, it works, I think I've mentioned this before, Braden works a very physical job. He's a mechanic, but more than that. I don't really know how to explain it because I don't understand completely what he does. I try really hard. He uses a lot of words that are like way over my head. But he works really hard. He is by far, and I mean I might be a little biased, but he's by far the best employee they have. I mean, and he said, because we were talking about him getting ready to start traveling for work, and I was like, you know, a little bit. I'm not irritated that he has to travel. I'm irritated that we weren't told about it beforehand. But it's like, one of the questions I asked him was like, is there anybody that can kind of share this workload so maybe you don't travel as much? And he said, not really. I'm the only one we've got. And that's pretty true.
And a lot of companies are having a hard time finding people who will stick with the work when it gets hard. And
they hired somebody to be a mechanic. And like Braden comes home filthy. Like, we don't let the kids touch him when he first gets home because he's like covered in God knows what. And but there was a man that they hired, and he quit like a week or two later because he got dirty. And I'm like,
really?
Yes, I wish I were kidding. But like, why are we so work brittle? I just don't know. Is it lazy? Is it?
So here's what I kind of put, like, I don't know, maybe there's a fear there of failing. I feel like the spirit of failure is a big one because we've become such a huge performance-based mentality society. So if you don't get it right, like, you screwed up, there's no coming back. But what I wrote here actually refers back to that, it applies to that verse in James that says, faith without works is dead. And what I wrote down was, all work should be an act of faith. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's your dream job or not, God can always minister through you to others. It doesn't matter your circumstances, okay? It does not. He can minister at any point as long as you let him in to do the work. And all faith should be backed by your works that glorify God. All of the faith that you have, doesn't matter if you speak it out loud. I mean, it does matter. It declares it over your space. But it doesn't matter to others unless they see that you are a person of faith. Okay, you say, oh, I'm praying for you. They may see that as a valuable action, But, it also speaks volumes for you to go, let's pray right now. Let's pray for that healing. Let me ask the Lord for some encouragement for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this right here, right now, and let's see the glory of God manifest itself in this moment. That is a work. It is not a work by our hands. It is God working through us, as he has done throughout the giant book of salvation history. And it's a big book, guys. Thick. Lots. Thick with what? 3 C's, as the kids say.
Is it 3 now? Jeez.
No, it depends on how thick it is. Like, I'm not even sure they're adding the K at the end. I think it's just
no, there's no
T-H-I-C-C.
The K is wrong now.
Which is, no. Anyone who's taken phonics knows better. But the point is, it goes together, okay? So all the work you do, whether you're at McDonald's, whether you're evangelizing on street corners, whether you're, like, it doesn't matter.
We've talked about this a lot from a stay-at-home mom perspective. Like, taking it into our day, doing dishes and making that a prayer. And I think we've mentioned, especially, I know it's in the magazine, but the Mother Teresa quote. Yeah. The Mother Teresa quote helped me.
Do the dishes not because you have to, or because you're supposed to, or whatever. I'm gonna butcher this, but do it because you love the person.
But basically, you can take, no matter what your job is, no matter what your space is, you can take these things that we are talking about and apply it to whatever situation. Go ahead. Did you find it?
Yeah. Wash the plate not because it is dirty or because you are told to wash it, but because you love the person who will use it next. And it says this quote is a reminder that serving others in simple ways is important.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as being someone's employee and supporting their business.
Right.
It can also be interpreted as a way to share God's love with others.
And if you are mindful and invite Jesus into that space, my husband has, there's sometimes that he has more like person-to-person interaction, but he's working with equipment a lot. And, he could very easily take that and make his work a prayer. And Lord Jesus, bless the work that this equipment is going to do. Bless the person that's going to use this equipment, whatever.
I offer this up for whatever you think.
Exactly. And if you don't know what to do, Lord, you know what needs, where the gaps need to be filled, fill them.
This falls into like the deadly sin of sloth, which is laziness, which truly and it doesn't, again, most things, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Most things don't start that way. But then the spirits of discouragement and fear and frustration and anger and hopelessness all sneak in, and it spirals you from this tiny little vice to this big honking sin that makes you feel distant from God and like you have no hope in the plan he has for you. And that's why we bring this up, because it truly is a crime that the world is doing this, and it's doing it so effectively, even in these silly little things. You got one more for us?
You're going to laugh.
Okay, I'm ready.
Feet pics.
Only feet.
It's so annoying, and no one likes feet. I don't know why this is a thing.
No one likes feet.
Feet are gross. Like, Luke has
feet have become a false idol.
Which is weird, and Luke has, maybe another year of cute feet.
And then it's stinky boy feet
then
from
I'm
here on
done
out.
touching his feet.
I'm done touching his feet.
It's funny. Joanna has very similar feet to the younger 3, but Sam, Charlotte, and Luke have quite literally the same feet. The
we are not selling their feet pics.
No.
Which is what people are doing, which ruins the dignity of the person. Anyway, they have cute, identical feet.
Yeah. So the toe next to their pinky toe, their ring toe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Ring toe.
I don't know. We call it the get rich toe, because it's Braden's grandma's maiden name is, or her last name is Get Rich.
Nice.
It's the get rich side. That toe curves in and behind.
Just that one.
On both feet.
I don't get it. You got a little motion for it.
I was delivering Luke, and he was fresh, brand new pop out baby, and the first thing I asked after I heard him cry was, does he have the get rich toe?
That sounds like
That
you
was like-
in the delivery
And
room.
they were like, the get rich toe? I was like, yeah, just let me see.
Just let me see the feet. Oh, goodness.
But yeah,
We've made a false idol out of our bodies.
Yep.
So there's less usually there when it comes to the feet pics.
Mhm.
Sometimes some people are desperate for like money. They need money to live. And that's why they choose to sell feet pics.
Self-reliance.
Self-reliance. And here's the thing. Like we said, a lot of these things are unsuspecting gateways. Okay? Like this is not a scare tactic. It is just a reality we face. The world is trying to take you from your heavenly home. You are seated in heavenly places. You have authority over these things. If the Lord has you in a place where it's hot, like where you're literally struggling on the street, whatever, there are two questions to ask. What doors do you have open that the enemy has a hold over your life, where he might have more influence than God? And two, how can you be a vessel of the Lord's love, even in your circumstances, okay? Because there are thousands of stories of saints who were literally in the worst of circumstances, way worse than we could possibly imagine.
If you feel bad about your life, go read about it through saints.
Oh, seriously, for sure. And especially, like, the martyrs. The martyrs were joyful that they were dying, that they were getting killed, that they were getting eaten by animals. Like, there are these ridiculous stories, but they're, like, so joyful because they weren't here. They were in heaven, like, mentally.
Yeah.
They were walking with the Lord in heavenly places, that, like, on earth as it is in heaven situation. If we start inviting that into our lives, our generation is going to do a much better job of becoming saints, of being raised to sainthood. It all starts with wholly surrendering your life to the Lord and then taking the next steps that he asks you to take when he asks you to take them. It doesn't matter how much healing you have or how much you failed or struggled or succeeded. It doesn't matter. He will heal you in his own time, and he will use your testimony very powerfully for his kingdom. So this week we are sending to your inbox a prayer to raise our generation to sainthood. We ask that you pray it with us because heaven knows we need it, considering all these wacky things that we keep doing. And with that, we'll catch you next time. Bye.